Electome is a new program from the MIT Media Lab that provides data about election-related discussion within social media. To do that, the system analyzes hundreds of millions of tweets.
And you can go in there now in any given period, and using our dashboard, you can filter it by in all kinds of ways, by issues discussed, by candidates being mentioned.
Electome first identifies if a tweet is talking about the election or the candidates, then categorizes the tweet based on the issue discussed. Through the dashboard, users can filter tweets by categories or a specific time period. The result enables journalists to compare and contrast the prevalence of issues over time.
For much of this election, foreign policy has really been dominant in the election conversation. That's been very consistent. But a few weeks ago, there was a huge spike in both immigration and race because of certain speeches and so forth that the candidates were giving. Suddenly, those were actually bigger than foreign policy.
One advantage of collecting data from tweets is that it provides candid information that is difficult to measure with traditional polling.
Polls do a really good job in a specific kind of setting, but that's not conversation in the wild, right? That's prompted. What we're looking for is to tap into what people are saying publicly on Twitter in the wild without prompting. The major analytic that's in the dashboard is this idea of share of conversation, right? So we've classified these tweets as being about the election, and then we've actually classified them into the topics. What that allows you to do is to say at any given time, what's the share of conversation within Twitter or within news about those topics.
Because tweets tend to be written in a conversational manner, the system is able to use language cues to sort the material in new ways.
Sort of one quirky thing we can do is filter it by civility. So we have classifiers for profanity, racial ethnic slurs, things like that. So you can then also say which issues are the most uncivil conversation associated with it.
Electome has been used by numerous publications already, including The Washington Post, Bloomberg, Fusion, and CNN.
Like with Washington Post, we've done some pretty big, kind of big picture stories about share of conversation, for example. But we also did a project with them where they did a national poll of the #1 issue that was on the voters' minds at that given time. This is last March. We did a story that was sort of classic Bloomberg, where they looked at why aren't economic issues bigger in this election, or as big as they have been in past elections, and our data really helped them figure that out.
When events occur, such as a presidential debate, Electome can be used to see the shift in conversation.
And the reason we did that is so that journalists who are covering the debates, either in person at the debates or remotely in their newsrooms, would have this at their disposal to actually do really deep coverage of this aspect of the conversation.
While Electome is primarily used for the presidential race, MIT does plan to continue the program after November.
But our intention is absolutely to keep this going. It'll probably have to be renamed because it won't be an election anymore. But we think it has basically unlimited potential to serve people doing any kind of journalism. And we think the categories of data that are in an Electome-like tool could be expanded broadly. I mean, we've got Twitter, we've got news, but think of all the public data that's available.
Electome is a free-to-use tool that anyone can access by signing up on electome.org. For the Futures Lab, this is John Doty.